the Twitter link, Twitter handle as they call it, the Facebook page for that company or that service provider, and report the issue. Believe me, it works. Wouldn't like to take names, but I or my friends or acquaintances have reported referring their Twitter handle and what is the issue, or gone to the Facebook page and mention something on their timeline or their wall, and it works. You have an issue with your cell phone or your internet service provider, you put a link on their page. It's not only for them, it's for the thousands of users who are connected to them through their page. They don't want such kind of negative feedback out in the open. You would probably get a call within 10 minutes from the manager, regional manager himself. And then probably within half an hour, your services, internet or cell phone or some other services that you had an issue, resolved. For which probably you were fighting out for a couple of days or a couple of hours and nobody was listening to you. Or you were getting transferred from one line to the other, or the matter was, or the case was getting escalated to different levels without any kind of positive things happening. It works. Relationships. People do connected. We have a population which is almost 50% of them are in the age category of 15 to 45, the generation X and Y, which harps on things happening faster as compared to their fathers or their forefathers. They're not ready to wait. You could have seen people or sons, nephews, neighbors, teenagers whom you know, posting out relationship statuses, single, engaged, complicated, whatever. Everybody does, if they feel like. That again is seen by the number of people in the network, direct or indirect. So we have effectively moved into relationships 2.0, where everything is virtual, but it's real. And it's visible to everybody. So again, before you post anything, you have to watch what you're posting. Diminishing attention spans. For those having kids or have neighbors who are teenagers, the kind of patience that they have is limited. They want things at the go, at the fly. They want an Xbox, they want an Xbox. They'll do anything to make their parents give them an Xbox. Teenagers go after a certain thing and they try to achieve it, the best of their abilities, either by hook or crook or whatever methods employable. You had the first kind of media coming in as print media, television media, wherein mostly it was just a monotonous newsmaker or some particular, not even a serial, a program on farming or stuff like that. With the advent of cable television, you have a lot of reality shows coming into the picture. You have things like KBC and some other reality shows which are much more real, and people try to participate in them because they get a feeling of being connected. It's more near to the real life situation that they face every day. The success of soap operas on television, you can connect it with your daily lives, right? You might not want to watch it. I personally don't. But those kind of situations are there in real life, and probably somebody takes a leaf out of and then adds to his or her own creativity in probably resolving that situation. The writers who write all these things are themselves humans, right? They create those situations based on things they have observed. Traditional media, same thing. Newspaper, television, we could probably go back 20 years. Just news items coming out, or a particular serial coming once a week, or maybe a cartoon character every Sunday. How many channels do you have nowadays? Hundreds? I could be seeing 20 years ago one particular cartoon coming out every Sunday. Now I have a dozen cartoon channels broadcasting 24 hours a day. Do we have the time? No. But we have the resource now. People have a lot of choices. Some features of the traditional media. It's just a broadcast, to whomsoever it may concern. A news item being presented, that's it. No reality shows, no feedbacks, nothing. Something different? People participate in reality shows, a variety of reality shows. Why? They want recognition. They want to get involved with the product, the service, the game. They want to have a real life experience. They want to experience. They want to have chance to get recognized. They want to participate. Any of you have given a feedback online? No. Not even through your cell phone? You had an issue with the services, a service you wanted to activate or deactivate, and then they put you through a series of questions asking for your feedback. No, nobody responds. Yes, no, maybe. It's a simple answer.
Yeah.
Series of questions. The feedback is probably being gathered and stored in the company's database, and based on the feedback, the incentives are decided for that customer support or tech support executive. So it's just like your firms that you're working in. You also get the feedback from your immediate boss or manager based on the feedback provided by the user you have just provided service. Same way. Certain risks involved in going online, in propagating a social media campaign, in being on the social media network. Especially firms, customers, employees, support. How do you think the customer is a risk in a social media campaign? He is your customer, he is going to give you business. How is he a risk for your campaign? If you think of it. You are... Exactly. The things that we talked about a few minutes ago. The customer is an asset, but he can also become a liability because he posts something on your timeline, your wall, and you have to take care of that. Just can't turn your back. Employees?
Yes.
That would be one of the smaller things. The bigger thing is whether you have really percolated the idea down any organization about what you are running. If you are running a social media campaign, have you informed your employees about it? How are they supposed to react? Are everybody in the loop? Are they on the same page? The employees could give out certain information. He could react individually to the end user who has posted something negative, which is not advisable, like we saw in the list of do's and don'ts. He takes something personal. It's not something personal you take. The feedback is for the work you or your company has provided. It's nothing personal. So if he starts engaging in arguments, then you've had it. So it's important that everybody knows what is going on in the organization, why are we on the social media platform, and how do we do it. Support. Again, something's relevant. Support not provided on time. The department heads who are not aware of the fallout of a positive or negative campaign get involved personally. They start giving out information. They argue with the end users. They directly get involved in the communication with the end user. That could be a risk. Some relevant questions. How much should a firm open up? Should a firm outsource or have an internal team? With social media channels or platforms they should be present on. Key factors that ensure effective communication. Any of your companies have engaged social media firms, or do you have a social media networking or a platform team within your organizations? Chatting is one of the things that you can have online. You can have online, offline customer support through emails. Your teams could be on Twitter, Facebook, propagating your products, your services, engaging with the end users. Where do you think the company should draw a line between engaging a professional social media networking team, or having your own staff? What do you think is more relevant? Any suggestions? Or it's like a complete no-no for either side?
From experience, I can tell you that progressive organizations use social media very effectively. In fact, they have a social media policy in place. They orient their employees on it in terms of effectively using it, and also using it to their advantage in terms of branding their organization, products, and things like that. So organizations are becoming very serious about social media as a platform.
Basic suggestion I can give from my limited knowledge of social media is, wherever I have been engaged in a social media campaign for, say, an educational institute which is going to roll out its programs for the next academic year. They probably have a span of 3 to 6 months within which they have to market or advertise their courses for the next academic year. They're trying to attract students. Fine. Do they use an internal social media team, or would it be advisable to use or outsource it to a professional team or a company who does this? It depends upon what. It's a tricky question. It depends upon what you are going to actually put in and how you're going to react. Because even after your admissions are over, the content is still online. And there is going to be feedback, there is going to be a query put by students or their parents or their acquaintances, or even for the next academic year. If you just outsource it for 3 months to a team, you get the admissions, it's not done. You have still to react to the questions or queries pouring in on chat, on mail and that will again define or add value to the organization's plans. It could be a company, it could be educational institutions. You have to be active 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You just cannot roll out a social networking program for 3 months and then just forget about it. Business perspective, ROI. The CFO would be very much interested. How do you define an ROI? It's a new term, it's a new terminology, it's a new platform. Not many people are actually sure about how it's going to work. How do you calculate an ROI? Do you see an ROI at all? What is your ROI? The fact is,
it depends on the context.
Sure.
I mean, if we are talking about consumer product goods and other things that are relevant to the general public, then social media may make sense.
Right.
But anybody, I mean, everybody has a Facebook page, everybody has LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. Do you read the fine print when you sign in? When you sign up as a user, try reading the fine print. You know who owns the IP? All those pictures that you post on Facebook. It doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to Facebook. The thing is, if you know, there's a lot of mistrust that gets created because of all these things. Everybody wants to know your birthday. In the US, if you had to talk to your credit card company, all you need is, you know, an address or mother's maiden name or you know, your date of birth. That's it, and you'll get all the information. The point is, where do you draw a line? I mean, people don't realize identity theft is not a serious issue, at least not as serious or documented as serious in India, right? But I mean, where do you draw a line? I mean, I've seen people who become you know, they've come onto Facebook, they've posted a bunch of things, and then they've deleted their account. A whole bunch of people. LinkedIn, from that matter, is simply, I mean, you're kind of posting your resume, and then you connect with people. And you can choose to send messages to specific groups of people, and so on and so forth. See, social media in and of itself is not bad, but if you just simply say, oh, well, I can post on Facebook and it's great, it's not. There are so many holes in all this thing, right? I mean, anybody and everybody can see you and your friends. I mean, depending on how you govern the exposure. I don't know if you can calculate ROI. You selling out